We are all smart people here, and we know one thing, that the games bubble industry is a bubble. Yeah, we're smart people here. And we're smarter than that even, because we know it's already bursting.
It's no secret the games industry is struggling. Millions of dollars have been lost and thousands of layoffs have occurred. Even games with mild success will not make their money back.
Mild success is very deterministic by what you call as mild success. For example, Dragon Age Railguard reaching 1 million copies sold is not mild success. That's still a disaster. Honestly, anything that loses money in a financial business sense is not success. Anything that makes a couple of dollars and you have invested millions and years of your time is also, by the way, a disaster and not a success. Anything that, reaches only 10% or 20% of your sales goal is effectively a disaster and not a success. So calling Veilguard a success for reaching 1 million copies is literally hope of the highest caliber.
One would think that these failures would create a moment of crisis, a moment of self-reflection in the industry, that studios would realize that instead of lecturing gamers about what they should want, they would listen and understand their fans.
But how will the dumb gamers understand what they need to like and do and think if someone doesn't tell them what's the right way to live their lives? That's that someone needs to tell them that, because that person who's telling us what we need to do is probably really smart and has a degree in journalism and stuff like that. What? They probably work for some kind of IGN even. Dude, how could we not listen to these freaks?
The people who want to be entertained, who want to pay to play their games. So how did we get here? Why is it so difficult for the feedback to get through? Why aren't studios listening?
Because they don't want to?
The problem is that over the years, they've created a bubble. And unless they turn things around and step into the light, things are only going to get worse. Let's talk about how this happened. When I first started in games, you made a game, got ready to ship, and then you talked about it at E3. You let people play, and sometimes you even had gamers at E3. It felt like a fun geek fest with friends. As games became more mainstream and made more money, things started to change. The press became more powerful, and reporters that wanted to increase their audience might do so by creating breaking news about your game. Sometimes that was really good, and the game developer would score a magazine cover, they'd get more sales and a lot more attention. Sometimes it wasn't so good, because a lot of game developers weren't great at selling their games. They were just great at making them. They might say something wrong about the game, or maybe a reporter would misunderstand. This could end up costing the game developer.
Oh my god, this is the old Max Payne. Jesus. What? Yeah, this is the old Max Payne. No, this is... No, what the hell is this? I can't... Is that even... No, that's not even... What is... This is the old Max Payne, right? This is not Hitman. This is the old Max Payne.
Shelf space, sales, and sometimes their job.
Noise in their makeshift trailer park across the street from E3.
I think it's more honest. Like, we don't have to put on a big show. Our big show is our technology.
Naturally, what happened was the game developers and publishers started to evolve out of self-interest. They needed to protect their investment, so they would set their message and their narrative very specifically before they went to E3. The last thing they wanted was for a reporter to misunderstand and print something that would hurt the game. Now, instead of game developers working 8-hour shifts on the show floor discussing their games,
and now journalists are just going to intentionally misrepresent what you want to say and what you are about because reasons. And surprise, surprise, people caught on to this. Wow. And you're wondering why these magical statistics as an all-time low reliability from people towards media currently exists. Interesting.
companies moved to designated spokespeople and had secondary people manning the booth. Many companies staffed their floor with beautiful contractors that couldn't answer any in-depth questions.
Aloha! Welcome to
Nice.
the Maxim Video Game Quiz.
This worked really well. Instead of having kind of a grumpy developer that had crunched in order to get their E3 demo done, you had beautiful, bubbly people, and they would set a great first impression of your game.
Oh my god, I know this one too.
The green guy.
Giovanni? No.
The turtle.
Nice.
Fabio? No. Leonardo?
An added benefit was that no reporter in their right
Hell
mind
yeah.
would quote one of these people as some kind of expert on the game, so it took away that.
Okay. Yeah. Do you see how previously this was? And I'm not talking about, you know, all of this that we're saying. I'm talking about the fact that it's true. Reporters would never quote this because they know that this is out of context BS. How times change. Now reporters are intentionally gonna do out of context BS constantly. Great stuff.
Risk. If a journalist wanted an in-depth interview or wanted specific questions about the game answered, then they were directed to a PR spokesperson. And these people were trained. They were intimately familiar with the game, and generally they didn't say anything stupid.
And fortunately, we have a product for people who aren't able to get some form of connectivity. It's called Xbox 360.
Right. So stick with 360. That's your message if you don't,
Well,
like it?
if you have zero access
Yeah.
to the internet, that is an offline device.
This
They,
also really worked to increase the star power of game creators. People like stories about another person, right? It's hard to tell a story about the 150 people working on the game. It's just too much for people to keep track of. They want to hear about the star. Who is the co-creator of Halo? Who is Jason Jones? That is what they wanted to hear. These spokespeople became famous, and often the press became.
I don't understand how Todd Howard became famous. Like, the hell is what exactly is his charm? I don't see it in the slightest.
their friends. It's natural for friendships.
The only thing Todd Howard has ever answered that Todd Howard is such a liar. We don't even honestly know if his name is Todd Howard or was he born with a fake name to just lie even about that. Okay, Todd Howard never answers a question directly, and when he does, he lies, and very, very visibly, in fact, which is even stupider. But somehow people love Todd Howard, somehow, but the Bethesda fanboys literally will sack themselves in his name, which is strange.
To develop over time, and it helps in interviews if people know each other.
It's great to see you again.
It's good to see you as well.
good to
People
see
are
this
waiting
still
for us to
going.
get back together. And now
I
You
know.
can already tell that Todd's lying.
I do always enjoy it where you make up features and ask me if they're actually real.
Exactly. And then you go back and build them, right? No.
Sometimes yes. Sometimes yes. We get the pressure to do that.
Yes.
This created a star power on the interface too. Suddenly, you weren't just a journalist. You weren't just a buyer for GameStop. You were friends with some of the most famous and powerful people in the games industry. If you played your cards right, maybe you'd get exclusive interviews or get to break stories after drinks one night. And the escalation continued. It became normal to wine and dine the press and retail buyers. Since games were on physical media, you had to have shelf space, and even better, cross-promotion with major stores. It was big business. Companies had to manage hundreds
You can tell she's old school because she uses the term of wine and dine.
of these people at E3.
By the way, that means bribe if you're actually wondering. Not in the illegal sense, but in the legal sense. You know, like a bunch of very admirable people like Luke Steffens, Neo Raptor, and everyone's favorite Maddie being flown out to Disney in the Star Wars Disneyland, and then getting wine and dine and finding, you know, bags of money and women of the night and their arranged sleeping quarters. You know, how did this happen? Don't know, but Star Wars Outlaws 10 out of 10, best game ever. Yeah, the legal ways of doing things.
So Xbox had a handler for every major press person and retail buyer. The handler would make sure that the experience for these people was top notch. For press, it was a PR person. In the Xbox case, they had internal PR and an army of contract PR people from a company called Edelman. They were beautiful, smart, and funny people. For the retail buyers, it was easy because Microsoft already had someone internally that managed every account, and so those people would be the guides for the retail buyers.
We got 400 retail pros ready to hang out in the Xbox booth and learn why Xbox One is the best place to play games this year. Where's the best place to play games?
PC! Yay!
If you were a VIP, you would check in for an appointment at the desk and have a first-class tour. Access to a VIP section where you could eat, drink, and mingle with Xbox and game royalty. On the tour, you might see a presentation by one of the creators followed by a hands-on demo, staffed appropriately so that your experience was perfect. This sometimes meant that they would even win when they weren't very good at the game.
I like that you actually went through 3 hurdles and you still finished first. So that's because I run so fast. No matter how many obstacles I hit, I can just make up for it. That's fun.
It's pretty phenomenal.
If the game was big enough like Gears, there might
That's Paris Hilton! And the other one. Ah! I love Paris Hilton.
be an exclusive party.
She's so goddamn. Boys, like, listen. And I don't want anyone trying to fight me on this, okay? Listen, look at this. Look at this. This is literally her, okay? We're kind of ignore the fact that she's the effective definition of a roasty, but, it is what it is, boys. Oh, look at this. This is pretty good. Look at this quality right here. Ain't bad, and this is couldn't yet, boys. Look at that. I'd do it. I'm not gonna lie. Would 10 out of 10. Absolutely would. Love Paris Hilton. Hot.
Or event. It was also staffed with beautiful people, models, and sometimes even celebrities like Paris Hilton. I remember Paris showing up at the event. She walked over to the bar and slammed a few shots. Next thing I knew, Cliffy's girl.
Yeah, that seems legit. Yep, that seems on point. And before that, she probably did a line or two. It is what it is, boys.
Girlfriend was.
I never said she's wife material. I said would.
Posing for a selfie, and there I was looking like, I don't know, where's Waldo in this picture? It was funny because when Cliffy.
Oh, look at those dead eyes. Perfect. I mean, boys, you cannot get better than this.
Girlfriend posted this picture. She made sure to scrub me out of there. I wonder why. Then there were the press briefings before E3 even started. We'd spend weeks leading up to E3 figuring out which games to include and how to create blockbuster sound bites that would further drive our message.
I know you plan these things months and months in advance. For anybody that doesn't know, that the planning for this starts like the beginning of the year kind of thing.
That's right.
It's crazy. So
we didn't want a random reporter setting the tone for the entire week, so we got ahead of it. We set the tone at that briefing and then gave more details later in the week. And it worked. Sometimes reporters would just report your message exactly, like this article which mirrored our internal XNA messaging. We knew that it was insanely ambitious to assume creating a game engine like XNA was going to somehow change the entire dynamics of the console business. But reporters liked it, and they ran with it. And this still happens, as you saw with Dragon Age.
Return to form. Yep, that sounds like Dragon Age.
Return to form is exactly what the designer wanted the press to say. Managing the message was critical to a studio's success and was done for survival purposes. But it sadly started to hurt gamers. You now had an industry that was in a bubble. As the friendships and relationships grew, only journalists in the bubble were given exclusives. And sometimes their review didn't match what was going on. Again, you saw this recently with Veilguard. IGN is walking back their review. Did IGN actually believe Veilguard was a 9 out of 10, or did they intentionally?
Probably. It was reviewed by a person who did have surgical top scotch, so yeah, the answer is big yes.
Ignore the flaws. Did they play the game? Did they like the game, but then after they got into it more, they decided they didn't like it anymore? It's just confusing as to why it appears they're walking back that review. Is it because suddenly they're seeing that gamers don't like it and the sales are going to be low? I don't know the answer.
No, because they want to... It's a stupid dynamic. It's like a give and take type of thing. The journals are desperate at this point for game reviews because no one's reading them for quality. Okay, listen, you have a better chance to click at my video about a different subject and finding more quality on the subject that the video is not about than trusting a games journalist or journalist, honestly, in general in the current day and age, to actually provide you any form of realistic value. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. So, the only way journos can get any kind of traction is if they do, the reviews be one week before the game launches and things like that, because that's the only advantage that they pretty much have any longer. And even that technically is fading because shilltubers are kind of taking over that niche because they can honestly do a much better job and people like it more and they get more traction on average. So, I mean, even that's fate. Journos are... It's not a good time to be a journo.
Answers, but it's not a new story. Then there were the awards at the shows. For game developers, it was a way to keep score, to get more marketing and support for your game. It was a way to gain more shelf space at retail. Look, an expert...
Bro, are you kidding me? This retard? Holy... Who committed literal PR suicide by bringing this guy on stage? Oh my god, this guy's probably already... Oh my god, wait. What, is he drunk? Is he on cocaine? Yes, he is. Oh my god, I can see the baggie right there in his inner pocket. Oh wait, no, there's also some tablets. Oh no! Mark Hamill, what are you doing? What are you doing? And Mark Hamill goes off how 50% of America needs to be put in re-education camps. God damn!
Expert loves my game. See, IGN says I'm a 9 out of 10. Please give me more shelf space.
Wait, no. Is that actually Mark Hamill?
IGN...
No, it's not.
Says I'm a...
I can't fucking tell. I was pretty sure that's goddamn Luke. But no. I'm so confused. Or is that another guy? This doesn't look like him any longer. What the? Whatever. Joke still stands. Eat it.
Please give me more shelf space. This created even more power for the journalists because they had a chance to create their own brand.
Oh, who's this guy? I have seen him before. Everyone calls him a cuck. I don't remember who he is.
And suck up to the bigger business of Hollywood. Then YouTube took off and threatened to bring the whole thing down because suddenly you didn't have to listen to a print magazine. You could just go watch the game being played online and hear what that person had to say about it. It took a while, but the industry started to notice. I remember being at WB Games and arguing with our PR team about this. Being a Hollywood company, they loved the current setup. They had been cultivating these relationships for years. They knew and loved the model. They didn't want to embrace the new reality. On Gotham City Imposters, we wanted a presence on YouTube, so we made the videos ourselves. All of these videos were done by the actual game developers. They didn't have a budget or help, just their own creativity and time. Once the big companies caught on that YouTube and streaming was here to stay, they started the process again. The playbook was the same. Cultivate a relationship with the most popular streamers and YouTube personalities that love your game and pull them into the bubble. But then...
Yeah. But the problem is like this. Turns out when people have access to a lot of information, if you're the guy who says the thing that's obviously a lie, people are going to call you out. People are not going to believe you. People are going to choose to not watch you because there's 20 other different people there. And that's why it didn't work.
Then something changed. You see, when you're in a bubble or an echo chamber where no real feedback gets through, it's easy to make bad choices. It's easy to believe the friendly journalists when they tell you what a genius you are and how great your game is.
On the score, we do mock reviews for every game.
We know toxic positivity is a real thing, obviously.
That we launch, and this is like double digits lower than we thought we would be.
You stop seeing what the gamers are actually playing. You stop understanding what they want. You stop listening because all you hear is how awesome you are. Let's look at Dragon Age. It took over 6 years to make that game.
Sad.
It's very expensive even before you start talking about the marketing. This means you're going to have to sell a lot of copies, and that means you're going to have to appeal to as many people as possible. Look, shipping a game is really hard, and I give these developers a lot of credit for getting it out the door. There's no question that some
I honestly don't.
people like the game, and that's great. But it's looking like it won't be enough, and I have concerns this will lead to more layoffs. Also, as a
I love the layoffs. Honestly, that's my favorite part about the games industry, the layoffs. All these woke losers actually getting what they should have gotten for making bad games. Love it. Oh no, the people who brought you woke slop number 5 are getting fired? But think about their non-existential families, because they are woke people, and having a family, is helpful to the bad type of anti Ice Age change. Oh no, the hoarders. Yeah, they're not going to have a job. Good. How about 10,000 more? I'm pretty sure we can find at least 30,000 more people like this that could be fired and potentially thrown on the streets because they can't pay their rent, because they're idiots, because they spend too much money on Frate Lappuccino cappuccinos. Yes, that sounds great. The layoffs in the game industry have been the best part of this year.
gamer, I have no problem with game developers taking risks with their content. Who doesn't love innovation? But that doesn't mean I'll buy your game. There are many games I like and many that I don't. This is true of movies too. And that's the beauty and the challenge of working in the games industry.
Okay. Think we get the point. And it's all pretty much over. Anyway, that was a Laura Freyer. 10 out of 10. Seems good stuff. Have a nice day. Bye!